This task was appointed to you, Frodo of the Shire. If you do not find a way, no one will.
The Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien's literary masterpiece, has become the most celebrated motion picture event of our time.
It was like this immense jigsaw puzzle that we had to somehow fit the pieces together and end up with something that felt like it was worthy of the title, The Lord of the Rings.
With the overwhelming success of his Lord of the Rings trilogy, Peter Jackson has become a household name. So it's hard to remember that when New Line Cinema announced he would take the helm of the biggest production in movie history, most people asked, Peter who? Peter Jackson was an 18-year-old budding filmmaker when he first picked up the epic novel.
Lord of the Rings was a book that I was aware of, but I had never actually read it. And so I must admit, I mean, I read the book and I thought, wow, this will make a great film. I can't wait till it comes out. You know, I can't wait till somebody else makes it. And that was as far as my kind of thinking went at that stage. I never ever dreamt it would be me doing it, not in a million years.
For over a year and a half, director Peter Jackson shot all 3 films simultaneously, creating a timeless classic.
Peter Jackson has amazing and determination and willpower.
There was something incredibly special. It felt like making something that was part of history.
I think that everybody can find a character in The Lord of the Rings that they relate to or feel for the most.
Now the heroic struggle of good versus evil in a world of unparalleled scope and grandeur comes to a dramatic and emotional conclusion in The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King.
I know this Aragorn. I will not bow to this ranger from the north.
Authority is not given to you to deny the return of the king.
8 years in the making.
It is time. Give him the sword of the king.
3 record-breaking motion pictures. 1 vision.
All you have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to you. We come through it at last.
The title, The Return of the King, refers to Aragorn, who has been on a journey through the first 2 movies towards his taking of the throne of Gondor. It's not an easy journey for Aragorn because he essentially doesn't have faith that he is doing the right thing by becoming the rightful king.
Put aside the ranger. Become who you are born to be.
I think The Return of the King is the most emotional of the 3. The themes within them are themes that are as relevant 50 years ago when Tolkien wrote the book as they are today. It's basic human emotional stuff, if you like. It's friendship, it's courage, it's loyalty, it's love, it's fear, it's good versus evil. There's nothing complicated about the themes. What's at its essence is the most simple themic material possible, and I think that's why it touches people.
Hail the victorious dead!
Return of the King really is the jewel in the crown. It's the most amazing film because it's as epic as the other 2, and yet it wraps up the story, so there's a very emotional resolution to each and every character who we've grown to know and love throughout the telling of these stories.
To me, the strength of this project has always been the script and the performance, not the effects, not the locations, no matter how amazing they are, that it's about the characters.
And I think on the day to Miranda, those lines, "You cannot leave," and then "Do you not know?" has to be very vulnerable, a very vulnerable, soft line. It's sort of a very honest line.
Peter is like meticulous about performance, and we never walk away from a scene unless we've captured that performance.
Why have you come?
Do you not know?
Peter Jackson has a sense of humanity that he's bringing to each of these characters that I think is vital to make the story have a meaning to an audience.
I think he knows where acting comes from and he knows how to kind of tap into that. And because he gets to know us, especially in these movies, because he's known us for such a long time, that he knows how to get the best performance out of every actor individually. I didn't think it would end this way.
End? No, the journey doesn't end here. Death is just another path. One that we all must take. The grey rain curtain of this world rolls back, and all turns to silver glass. And then you see it.
See what?
White shores. And beyond.
It's highly emotional, very powerful. So much is invested in these characters at this point that it's going to be pretty extraordinary to watch what happens to these characters. I remember we were on the side of a mountain, and he came up to me before we did the first take, and he just said, "I want the look that you have on your face to scare the audience." That horror, that deep sadness, all of the things that are going through Frodo's mind at that moment, that should be encapsulated in this one look.
There'll be none left for the return journey.
I don't think there will be a return journey, Mr. Frodo.
It was a pretty rigorous challenge, you know, to get those emotional moments right.
Do you remember the Shire, Mr. Frodo? It'll be spring soon. The orchards will be in blossom. And the birds will be nesting in the hazel thicket. And they'll be sowing the summer barley in the lower fields and eating the first of the strawberries with cream.
Oh, Sam, I can't recall a taste of food. No, the sound of water.
Come on, Mr. Frodo. I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you. Come on!
You really notice with Peter's work is that it works on the huge scale, but then also have the director who can direct the intimate, the drama.
The men have found their captain. You have given us hope.
I think it's like any relationship, you know, the relationship that the audience has towards the characters, it only grows. How do you feel about someone in the first year you know them, and then how do you feel knowing them after 3 years?
What other duty would you have me do, my lord?
Duty? No. I would have you smile again.
The experience of Lord of the Rings has rather confirmed what I already knew about the business of being an actor. But it's reminded me and confirmed that this actor can't survive without a very good director.
One more take, and if you just give us some with a little bit more worry.
50 years from now, there'll be some special effects that may or may not seem dated. It won't really matter because the emotional through line, the truthfulness of the interaction of the characters and the way that Peter has inspired everyone to commit to this is what will last. And that's the thing that will continue to resonate.
I see in your eyes the same fear that would take the heart of me. A day may come when the courage of men fail, but it is not this day. This day we fight!
I can't wait for fans to be able to go into the theater and actually sit down and not have to deal with to be continued.
The third movie combines the strengths of the first two movies in a really good way and takes it another step. And as in any good story, just before it gets better, it gets a lot worse.
You know, people who have watched the first two movies have stuck with us and everybody's waiting now to get to the last one, including us, the filmmakers, and we had the most fun making this film because it's, you know, it's climactic, it's paying everything off. We really didn't have to do a lot of hard slog setting things up because the first two films have done that for us, so we were able just to pay things off. It is the culmination of everything that we've set up. It's all the different storylines lead to this film, the journeys that the characters are taking leads to this film. You know, this is really, in a sense, climactic from the beginning right the way through to the end.
What can you see on the horizon?
There's a lot of emotion involved. There's a realization amongst the characters that no one really is going to come out of this story unchanged. Everybody that we have met in the first two films is changed by the events in Return of the King. They'll never be the same again. There are people that are just waiting for these films with huge expectations. We're all determined not to let them down. We just want to deliver what is, you know, truly the best of these three films.
Glad to be with you, Samwise Gamgee, here at the end of all things.